Here we go. Hey guys, here we are. We are here with another episode from Paper Birch. This will be posted in what we call our Teachers Lounge. We are always here to provide information for educators to thrive. And today I have the one and only Miss Portia Felder. She is, yes, she reminds me so much of me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Portia, yes. She's such an innovator.
That's a huge compliment.
She is very creative. And there was a quote that I thought about when it comes to you and your students. It was, oh my gosh, please tell me I didn't lose the quote. It was, oh, here it is. Students don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Absolutely.
And Portia is that teacher.
Oh, thank you,
that
friend.
Educator.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So I just love following you and all the creative things that you and your son you do. And so tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, first of all, let me just say I am so honored and proud to be a part of your project. Any and everything that you put your hand on prospers. And so I am just really happy to be a part of this. Thank you so much for inviting me. Let's see. My name is Portia Felder, and I am an educator. I've been teaching for almost 25 years. And 22 of those years, I have been a middle school math teacher and absolutely love it. Absolutely.
Yes. She makes the numbers come to life, guys. The teachers, the students love Portia and all the things that she brings to the table because she's so creative and innovative that it's just they enjoy being in her class. So we are going to talk about this new thing. See, Portia's always, she's like me. We just go to bed and we'll sleep and we'll probably dream of something real creative and innovative and wake up the next day and be like, I'm going to do that. Okay, where some people might sit on it for a while and not do anything about it. As soon as this new idea or as soon as we get exposed to something new, we just kind of dive in it and see. We take risk. And so Portia has this thing that she showed me called a Bitmoji classroom, correct?
Yes, Bitmoji classroom.
Yes.
And that was awesome. Actually, I was searching the internet looking for something to kind of pique the curiosity of my students and some kind of inspiration. So I said, let me see what's out there. And I ran across this Bitmoji classroom and I thought, oh my gosh, that's what I need. I need a Bitmoji classroom. And I just researched how to do one and it just started from there. And then I just created it and made it my own and absolutely loved it. And I shared it with Fran, not even aware that she'd want to do this. I was just excited to share. I love to share the information that I get. I'm working on my coaching endorsement. So hopefully once that happens, I can even share more with people.
So people are going to love this. And let me tell you why. We're at a time right now where everything is just uncertain. We don't know when we're going back to school. We don't know if we're going back to school in a traditional setting. More than likely, we'll be going back virtually. And this Bitmoji classroom is going to kind of be a game changer for all students their first day if teachers implement this. So tell us how you think this Bitmoji classroom is going to help with this whole virtual process that we're going through.
Well, as I was looking for something to kind of motivate my children. And I too think that we may even start the year in the virtually. So I said, well, what can I do to kind of capture their curiosity, get them motivated about math? Because, you know, it's one thing to take a math class, but then to have to do it online. So I said, well, when I saw the Bitmoji classroom, I said, well, I can create my classroom and actually incorporate things that are in my physical classroom into my Bitmoji classroom. So that when they get a chance to see the classroom, it'll kind of pique their curiosity. They'll, you know, say, well, what's going on? This is kind of different. And when we finally do get back into the classroom, they will see things that were in our Bitmoji classroom that are also in our actual classroom.
Yes.
And so that's basically how it was set up. But then I decided to do a little bit extra. I have a very diverse classroom. I have students from different cultures. And so what I did is I made sure that I included pieces from different cultures in there as well. So everything in the classroom is not all just math, but they're, you know, African art on the walls. I have a rug from Mexico. I have a painting from Bosnia. I mean, I just have all kind of things in the classroom so that everybody can feel a part of it. Everybody can feel respected and honored. And
Yes.
so I was excited to include that. And then they get to kind of peek around and see what they can find. And so that was another part that I really liked about it.
Now I could show, do you mind if I pull up your classroom so we
I
can
don't
show
mind at
people?
all.
Because I want
Absolutely.
people to have, I'm
Yeah.
a visual. So I'm going to share my screen. And if I'm not mistaken, here it is right here. Let me know if you can see it. Can you see it?
It's coming up. And there it is.
That's your
There it is.
classroom.
That's my classroom. And that's me on the couch.
Yes. So take me through what you have here. I'm just going
Okay.
to start over here to the left.
Okay. And you can actually put it in present mode to make it a little larger so that everyone can see it.
Go. There we go. That
All
good?
right.
Yes. Okay.
So that there is on the wall, I have the 10 commandments of math, and I
Mhm.
refer to it all of the time when we're in the classroom. And so if the kids were to click on that, they would actually see all of the words for the 10 commandments so they can actually read it. And they love to, in the classroom, they like to walk up and read the 10 commandments of math. That's how I say it in the classroom. You know, hey, that's against the 10 commandments
Yes.
of math. And so we all kind of have fun with that. And so you can, that's me right there. It's
That's
my
you.
Bitmoji. And
Yes.
so the kids, if they click on that, it'll tell them a little bit about me. There's my
Okay.
bio there, so they get a chance to meet their teacher.
Mhm.
And calculator, yes, that's the calculator that we use in the classroom. So if they click on that, it'll take them to some YouTube channels that will actually explain how to use the calculator. So that's something. And
Okay. And this is the rug that you were sharing?
yes, and if they click on that, it will actually take them to a site that tells them about the rug. It tells about how it ties into Mexican history. So it does a little bit of that as well on there.
Okay. This is the picture you were talking about.
And every year since I've been teaching, I had a different one when I was in private school, but every year since I've been teaching in a public school, that is the picture that's always with me. So it's been with me for 20 something years, and that's hanging actually in my classroom. And if they click on that, they get a chance to find out about the artist who created that painting.
So everything in here, how about this laptop here? What happens if we
Um,
click on that?
the laptop goes into some just some fun math activities where they can go through and read. It tells them some little activities that they can do because we use that in the classroom. That picture there that your mouse was on just a moment ago,
This one?
down a little lower, no, down a little lower, that one. That's
Mhm.
actually art. It's a Bosnian artist who actually sculpts things out of pencil leads. So pencil lead is there, and if you click on it, it'll tell you about that artist. You'll see some more things that he's done. And then one of my favorite books, The Math Curse, because sometimes math feels like a curse.
Yeah, for
And if you
some
click on
students,
that,
sure.
it reads the story, The Math Curse to you. And that's also in my classroom. And then in the middle of the board, you see, you can click here for today's learning target. And what I'll do is every once in a while, I'll kind of switch it up a little bit. So they'll have to see if there's something new in the classroom, the virtual classroom. So the whole purpose of that is to spark their curiosity so that they can, get excited about learning math and seeing what's in there. And it's a non-threatening way to introduce myself and the math classroom.
Yes, and I love it because I'm just thinking about my daughter. She's going to be going to the sixth grade, and so that will be a totally new school for her. And so, if we do not go back, right, and
Mhm.
it's going to be virtually for all the
Mhm.
students who are going to that are supposed to be attending a new school.
Mhm.
You got to have something like this to kind of introduce the teacher so that the student can still identify
Yes.
some way with who would be their teacher. And so I love this concept, and I just hope that this is something that teachers could work on maybe over the summer. Tell us how difficult it is, and
It
or is
was.
it?
It did not have a steep learning curve at all. In fact, I was thinking about it, and I was like, I would love the kids to create their own virtual study areas. And
Mm.
study area, and we can, link them so that everybody can get a chance to see each other's study area. Maybe we can learn a little bit about what they like, because sometimes you don't get to decorate your bedroom the way you want, but then you can have the posters on your wall, and
Yeah.
you can have links to things that you like, and just something just to get the kids drawn in, get them excited, and a way for them to express themselves.
Hmm.
So
Absolutely.
I searched on YouTube, and then after I saw how they set it up, basically, I said, oh, I can make that my own, and that's what I did.
And once you make it, it's there to stay. The only thing you've probably got to do is just update it from time to time, correct?
Yes, I mean, you might want to, redo the furniture, put a window in there. I mean, there's so much that you can do with this virtual classroom. So it's a little different each time. So you can just do whatever it is that you want to with the classroom. It's really awesome. They have some wonderful examples online. So you can Google Bitmoji Classroom. I cannot remember the gentleman's name. I'll try to send it to you later on, whose site I used. It's free. It's
Hmm.
free to do, and he even recommended that not pay him. Like, you can go on some sites where you have to buy things, but he said, hey, make a donation to somebody else, or just something else that you can do, and share the knowledge. So share the knowledge.
Yes. So, the other thing is that I do like how if I click on, pretty much everything in your classroom is attached to something else that they can learn.
Mhm.
So, I just see this just being really a big tool for the next school year. It could even be a way that schools can introduce their entire staff,
Back to
or
school night, when we have curriculum night,
yes,
that's a great way to have the parents, meet the teachers, see the classroom, see the virtual classroom, just
yes,
a chance to interact on a different level. Because even if we start school right away, this is something I'd love for my kids to see at the very beginning. And if we have
hmm,
to start virtually, this is something I'd love my kids to see at the beginning. So it's just so much you can do with this.
it is.
Mhm.
Um, and wait, how long did it take you to build this? Do you remember?
To build the actual classroom, I know for sure it was probably less than 15 minutes to build it. What took
Wow.
time is me trying to figure out how I wanted to decorate. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a virtual classroom, but I was like, oh, well, what do I want in it? I just didn't want anything. And that's when I started thinking, oh, I wish I could have my picture. And I said, why can't I? So I had to do a Google search for my picture and put it up there. You can take pictures with your camera, or you can search the internet for images to put on there. And then, like finding the math curse book that I like. And I said, well, let me find a site where they'll read it to the kids. And I found that on there. So just decorating, and that's the fun part. But actually setting up the classroom, it doesn't take any time at all. Just
Okay.
deciding what you want in the classroom is what takes a little bit more time. So
Okay.
I was trying to figure out which cultures do I want to represent, because there are other cultures at my school, and I could, still add some more pieces in there and figure out how I want them. And I might do a bigger bookshelf, or
Yeah.
like move the bookshelf and just put more posters up. It's just limitless what you can do with this.
Yes. Well, this has been great. Is there any other tips that you want to share for the educators? I'm going to create one now, for you have convinced me to
Yes,
create
yes,
one.
absolutely. You'll love it.
So,
And you have a limitless budget. You can just put whatever you want in your class.
so we're gonna see how this goes.
Oh, I look
Um,
forward to checking out your classroom.
yes, I will be sharing it. So, if is there any other things you want to share with the teachers before they?
Um,
Because I think this will be a great little something to do over the summer.
I just want to say that find ways to capture your students' attention. I mean, in the classroom, you can kind of keep bringing them back, but if we're doing this thing virtually, you're going to have to capture their attention, get their interest up. Um, re- Represent the kids and their culture in your classroom.
Yes.
That's another way to um, kind of bond with the children and build that rapport with your children, just by respecting their culture. Have a chance that they can see themselves in your classroom and images that represent them in the classroom. Um, I also want to say, as you're out there searching, if you find something, maybe you don't want it, but somebody else that might be interested, pass it on to someone else. The information is out there. Let's share. Let's just be awesome for our students so that they can be awesome for us when they grow up.
Yes, correct. And like I said, I started off with that quote, and I'm going to read it one more time. Students don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And
And Miss
doing
Daughter
something,
loves the kids.
yes, yes. And doing something like this really gives it that special touch. So we will be following Portia. This is our last interview. We got to talk about some of those math things you do.
Oh,
And
yes.
so
Yes, yes, yes.
we'll bring you back on so we can
Thank
hear a
you.
little
Thank
more
you.
about you and your creative ways of educating our students. I really appreciate you coming on today and
I
sharing
appreciate you
this.
having me. I
It's
appreciate
all
you having
about
me.
helping teachers to prepare, and you gave them a really good resource today.
And
So
it's fun. It's fun. It's
yes, and
fun.
we love fun. Okay, if it ain't fun, we ain't doing it. Okay.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you, and
Thank you.
I'll post this pretty soon, guys.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay. Stop sharing.
Yay.
Yay.